Chirp, chirp. Welcome back to the Pathway Podcast for students by students. We are here to teach you everything from resume to the first day.
I'm Alex Reed. I'm a senior at Ball State, and I am majoring in general studies, and I have 2 minors in media and marketing.
And what are you going to be talking about today?
Today, I'm going to be talking about balancing social life with academics at college.
Perfect.
My name is Ashton Kessinger. I'm a junior here at Ball State. I'm a media production major, and I have a minor in digital marketing. I'm going to be talking about some financial tips for you guys and how to make it through college financially.
I'm Logan McCauley. I'm a media production major. I have 2 minors, media promotion and sales, and then also digital marketing. My segment that I'm going to be focusing on is the expectations and versus the reality of college life and the difference and how to handle that.
I am Mira Bloomer. I am a broadcast multimedia storytelling major, and my minor is digital marketing. And I am a junior here at Ball State, and I am going to be talking about how to adjust college life. And we have some interviews to go along with that. So we're going to start off with Alex.
Yes. So I'm going to be talking about balancing your social life with your academics at college. And I also did an interview with Georgia Grube. She was a Ball State graduate and is now currently a sales manager at NIBCO. So she kind of shared some of her experience in balancing her college life and what kind of helped her when she was here. So the first year of college especially is super exciting because I feel like you're on your own for the first time after high school and you kind of feel this like overwhelming sense of independence. And you don't really have anyone keeping you on track. That was something I found out very early on freshman year. If you don't keep yourself on track, no one will. Mm-hmm. So she shared a couple tips to just kind of prioritize your academics as well as your social life because they both are important. One of the big things that she kind of talked about was using planners and like physically writing every single thing down because it's harder to forget if it's written down and you can see it every day, which I feel like a lot of people do on a weekly, daily basis anyways.
Definitely.
But she said that she used to color code her activities. So she was in the same sorority that I was in. So she would have like sorority color, event colors, personal life colors, and then like due date colors. So she would have everything color coded in her planner. And the second big tip that she said is to learn to say no and recognize your limits because there's going to be something happening every single night and like something is going on all the time, but you just kind of have to figure out when to prioritize certain things. So if you have a social activity that you would really, really like to go to, you just have to make sure that you put in extra time in your day for academics and for studying so that you can do that event without actually feeling guilty about not getting your homework done.
Yeah.
Because we're all here for a degree, but it is still fun.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, some other things that I kind of researched for this topic as well was time blocking, like I said, just setting usually earlier times in the day to get your homework done, study, do anything like that. Know your priorities, and using campus resources was another big one that I looked at, like utilizing tutor centers, study groups. And that's kind of something that we talked about too. I talked about with Georgia was our sorority used to host study events. So that was a really good way to kind of mix in hanging out with your friends while getting homework done because you could all hang out and do homework together. So that was a really good way to kind of balance the two. And then my first interview that I did with Alex, if we remember that, the like interviews that we did on the questions that we originally had, she talks about joining DSP, the business fraternity too. So using clubs like that within your major, like different clubs and business fraternities and stuff like that within your major, is a really good way to kind of balance fun with the academics as well.
For sure. I definitely like that idea of color coding. I feel like planners can be necessary until you're writing and everything, and then it just all looks very overwhelming. So I feel like color coding can definitely, where like these are necessities, this is for later. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
I really like the idea of time blocking. So like every day I'll type out my day and like what I'm doing every hour. That really helps like plan exactly what you're going to get done all day long so you stay on track.
I mean, it can all feel very overwhelming.
Definitely.
Just thinking about each day. That's why it's like take it hour by hour at that time.
Well, especially like you don't want to, prioritizing academics is important, but if it's all you do, you're going to burn out so quick, especially your freshman year.
Yep.
I'm gonna be so honest. I've never planned anything out.
Yeah.
I believe in Canvas. I have faith in Canvas.
Canvas.
Like Canvas will not do me no wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I went my first 2 years not like nothing planning, like calendar, nothing. And then this year I've gone into a better habit of doing the calendar and like filling up my calendar and color coding it.
Do you think it like helps?
It does until I forget that I remember to put certain things in, and then I'm forgetting to do.
I always found like the daily calendars and like the planners too, just like so aesthetic, and I love the idea of doing it. And then like a month in, I was like, I've written none of my homework assignment stuff.
Know.
So
I'm like still on October. I'm still on like freaking July of my calendar.
2023 daily planner in my backpack.
And then like the people that like, or you go into their rooms and there's just a giant calendar of everything they have, and I'm like, I would stop maybe 1 month and I would tap out on that.
Yeah,
for sure. I couldn't. I mean, I think utilizing it's very good. Obviously, it depends on the way you look at things in your schedule. Some people can look at a whole schedule and just be like, this is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I get so overwhelmed by it all. So whatever works for you for sure. And I think it's just trying those things out, testing them out, seeing if it works for you.
They have so many different like apps and online calendars and stuff like that too, which I feel like I did a lot more because it like comes up with a notification like, hey, this is due in 30 minutes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I always saw like the calendar like on I have an Apple computer, but I know that like every other computer has them. But I always like color those because they have like home and work stuff, and that always like sends pings to my phone too. So I was like, plus that, but I would have forgotten about that.
Yeah, whatever works.
Right. All right. Do we want to go to our second segment?
I guess so. Let's do it. I'll take over. So we're going to talk about the difference between what people think they're getting into when they go to college and then actually the reality of it and almost like the culture shock of it. So the first one I think we're going to hit is social life. The typical like ideal is that or like especially on TikTok, which I've seen, is that like you make this big friend group like the freshman year, like first maybe month or two, and then after that you do everything together. You go to like the cafeteria, everything, hang out, spend like you're in their dorms for like until like 2 a.m. And reality is those friends will last probably
Weeks.
2 months.
Yeah.
that week. So that there's another one. Oh, I gotta remember, but I feel like that's everyone. Everyone goes through that where they have this
for sure
like massive friend group and then it doesn't last. I mean that's normal.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Freshman year.
That canon of bet.
For sure.
It's a canon of it.
that everyone has.
Literally.
Another one is the academics. We've all had that one teacher in high school that was like, this would not slide in college.
Oh yeah.
And then you get here and then
everything
definitely does.
That
everything slides. Everything
slides.
slides.
or they're like, it's only going to get harder from here.
Yeah.
Your senior year, and it's like college assignments are so hard and you got to be so prepared, time management and everything. And then you actually get to college and then it's like I already did this in high school.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same. And it's not either too difficult or it's easier or about the same difficulty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually writing a blog post for my internship that I'm in right now. And it was at the same time that I was writing the blog for this class. And my manager for my internship, she was like, so this is written like super well and you did a really good job on it. But we actually try and keep like the tone of like an 8th grade level reading. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So I went to college to write like an 8th grader.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
At least you have the ability to
I know,
like really good.
I was writing them at the same time though, and I was like, these are great. And he was like, yeah, awesome. And then she was like, oh, this is way too
Good.
high of a
Way too
level.
You
good.
were actually too smart for this job.
Yeah.
And too advanced.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I just find it funny. I think every listener can relate to that one teacher that was like on top of you in high school about
sure.
like assignments and stuff, and it's just not true.
Yeah. No, and I think like coming into freshman year, that's in your head about
yeah.
it. So you like overthink your classes even more where you're like, this is fine right now, but what's gonna happen in a month? What's midterms gonna be like? It's gonna be like the 100-hour essay. Like, it's just like it's definitely like overhyped in your head and like when really you just need to find something you're interested in and go with that. Because I feel like at the end of the day, if you're in classes, I mean, we all have to take those general ed classes.
The
though.
basic classes,
Yeah.
basically that like high school classes.
Yeah, which they basically are. I feel like the workload may be a little bit different, not even in the way of having more homework, but maybe just in the way of how they do it.
Yeah.
And and like they do not wait for you. Like I remember being in my history class freshman year and I was trying to write notes and they do not wait for you. Like this professor was going so fast. I feel like that's the difference in like a classroom setting.
And they don't put it anywhere else.
Mm-mm.
They just like say it one time and like hope you got it.
And they're like, find it in this like huge book. I'm like, no.
You gotta whip out your phone and take a picture of the slide that has like
later.
20,000
Absolutely.
words on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to record too. I used to record all of my
That's
classes on my
smart.
voice memos and then go back and listen to them.
I've had some professors that dislike that.
Really?
They do not want you recording their classes at all.
Probably because they're scared they're
There's
gonna
like
say something.
there's something in there's actually something in the like,
Reliable.
the like handbook or something about recording classes.
Really? About how
Yeah.
you shouldn't?
Yeah, how that like because it's like technically Ball State property or whatever.
Oh my
Cut that
god.
part out.
Yeah, we got to cut that out.
When
But I
really
do
you
do
could have
that.
your phone like this in a classroom and like they wouldn't know. So.
Exactly. I mean, I heard it once.
Right.
Why can't I hear it again?
Right.
All right. So next one after academic is dorm life. So at Ball State, it's a required minimum that we stay in the dorms for 1 year, unless you like live 30 minutes away.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
you have
30
to
miles.
commute.
Or
Yeah.
it's like
You have to like apply for it to commute too.
Mhm.
yeah, there's like a long list. So the first like idea when people get a new like roommate for their dorm is like, oh, we're gonna be chill the whole year. We're not gonna have issues. We're gonna be like, I know me and my buddy, we didn't fill out the roommate contract. We're like, we don't need that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We're gonna be buddies, but in reality. You can't after like the first 3 months you can't stand each other because you're seeing each other for 9+ hours or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
sleeping in the same room, in a room probably like 10 by 10
Yeah,
if
literally
smaller.
with all your stuff.
And then if you're having people over 24/7 or like you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and so basically there's 3 people.
It's
Yeah.
just impossible to avoid problems whenever you're living with someone in general in the same room.
Right,
Like you
and
don't have your
yeah.
own private space. Obviously, problems are gonna arise. But
And I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's such a learning experience because I feel like everybody needs to go after it. I knew a freshman who ended up living with her sister with a couple of her friends freshman year. She didn't really make any friends besides, where it's like dorms suck. And I really would suggest not living with someone were friends with before because that'll completely ruin your relationship. but it's such a like rite of passage. You have to do it. Like it's kind of fun if you look at it in a different kind of perspective.
See, I did a random roommate my
Oh,
freshman year.
okay.
I met her on the Facebook page.
Oh man.
There
Getting Facebook page.
so many stories of people meeting like random roommates on especially the Ball State Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we met up. We met up in Indy and we like went to TJ Maxx and we bought all of like our matching dorm decorations
Cute.
and it was so cute. We were all coordinated and everything matched. We had everything divided out. And me and her were like inseparable for like the first 2 weeks. And then when we rushed sororities, we went different sororities and I started meeting a lot of people and there was a lot of people in my dorm who were in the same sorority. So we did like the big friend group thing. We had like 15 girls going to like lunch in the dining halls together. And she just like didn't have that. And then she went
Berserk.
wild.
Yeah.
She went wild. And she had a boyfriend at a different school, which I think was a main factor. But she ended up not continuing at Ball State.
Yeah.
So I moved in with someone else.
Period.
But that was definitely like one of the crazy meet your roommate on Facebook stories. I met this girl and I was like, I love her to death. I don't know what everyone's been talking about. And then after like Christmas break, I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of there. I gotta get out of there.
No, I definitely get that. My roommate and me were close before we moved in with each other, and she was in a sorority, and she rushed and stuff, and I didn't, because I just didn't really feel the need for it in my life. But we were good until we weren't, and it's like nothing really happened. It's the weirdest thing, and I still have so much love for her. But it's like you just get so like, I don't know. Everybody changes in college too. I feel like and like everyone's like, oh, college changed you. I'm like, that's what it's kind of supposed to do. That's why we're here, you know? So at the end of the day, people change. You're going to grow no matter what. And you experience that. And now you know better for next time.
Yeah. Don't live with random people. Moral
Don't
of the
live
story.
with anyone too close to you either. You got to balance.
Yeah.
You got a tricky slope right here for dorming with people.
So that's all I have for my segment.
Beautiful.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one.
Woo! All right, I'm segment 3. So I'm going to be talking about today adjusting to college life and overcoming the learning curves, which I feel like learning curves we've kind of touched about in each segment we've gone over so far. So the first thing I really, really want to talk about is I feel like Ball State is a college that there's a lot of people that live in the state. You know, like there's a lot of people that live in Indiana. Whereas IU can look at kind of different because people come from all over. But like my biggest thing when I came into freshman year was homesickness. I was so homesick. And I don't know I have a lot of siblings at home. Like I don't know what it was, but I was very homesick. And I tended to go home a decent amount of times, and I was like, that was probably the worst mistake I could have. I figured it out like before first semester ended, but it really just kind of makes you backtrack at the end of the day, where you're home and then it's just even harder to leave another time, you know, where I was going home on like my birthday and stuff, and it's just things that I wish I would have experienced in college, even if it would have been sad. I feel like freshman year is a lot of sadness at the end of the day, but a lot of fun too. So like, I don't know. What do you guys think about homesickness and like going home?
I lived pretty close to school.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could go home, 30-minute drive, and then come back. So it wasn't really too crazy for me. I just went home whenever I.
Yeah. Do you think it set
felt
you
like
back at all? Like, did you ever struggle with homesickness or anything?
I'd say I did, but I kind of forced myself to stay in Muncie and hang out with the people here and really gain relationships with them.
Yeah. Really just go dive
That
in.
like
Dive
helped me
deep.
like find my family
Mm-hmm.
in Muncie.
Cute.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Fishers, so again, like 45 minutes away, but I didn't really feel like homesick a lot.
Mhm.
I do think it's too because I'm an only child, so when I would go home, it would be like just with
you.
my parents.
Yeah.
Because all my friends went to like places further, so
Yeah.
I really only went home like on my freshman year,
Mhm.
like for breaks and stuff.
Good
And
for
that was
you.
fun because
Yeah.
then all my friends were home,
Yeah.
but everyone was here. And all
Yeah.
of my roommates, the girl I originally roommate and then the girl I moved in with, they were both from like out of state, so they never went home.
Yeah.
So all my friends were here, so I just never really went home.
Beautiful.
And I do feel like that's a big thing too,
Oh, yeah.
like homesickness. Fighting the urge to actually go home makes it a lot better in the
I know.
long run.
Sometimes I was just like, I wish I just went all the way across the country, so I didn't even have this option.
Yeah.
But I did have the option, so but I figured it out. You just gotta figure it out. One thing that helped me not be homesick was I created a big routine just literally every day, whether if the routine was get up, brush your teeth, like that. Just marking down what you need to do every day helped me a lot, and personalizing my space in the dorm. I put a lot of photos of my family. And really just getting involved in campus. I think once my friends started rushing for sorority, I was like, I need to figure out my niche,
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up joining the news team here, and I met so many people, and it took a lot of my time. And it was just overall just helped me a lot. Also, if you're struggling or anything, go to the counseling center. We have lots of options there at Ball State. But so I did ask my sister. She's a college graduate. She's 26. Her name's Annabelle Bloomer, and she was a teaching major, but she went to IU her first year and then transferred her sophomore year to IUPUI because of homesickness, roommate struggles. She wanted to change her major. She was first psychology. It was a whole thing. But I did talk to her about what the hardest parts of balancing in college was like and how you learned through those. And she did say, as we touched on, was social and and the education part. She said it can be, I'm going to quote her. It can be really easy, especially in the first semesters, to fall behind because priorities fall short when you want to meet new people and do different things than you did in high school. So stay on top. This kind of resonated with me because freshman year I did struggle where I was constantly just thinking of the club I was in. And at the end of the day, you are here to learn. I feel like a slap in the face for me was my mom being like, I want you to have a good college experience. I want you to make a lot of friends, but at the end of the day, don't waste all my money. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you do have to, I know college is so fun and parties and blah, 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 but you really do have to get your crap together and just really just stay on your top of your classes, because if you stay on top of your assignments, you're going to be fine. If you get them done, you're going to be fine. If you go to class, you're going to be fine. It's really if you just stop doing them for a month and then you're like, what do I do? But if you do that, contact your teachers. If you're not feeling good, if your mental health is not good, contact your teachers. They're here to help you. They've helped me so much, as long as you're honest with them and you communicate. That was the biggest part. I feel like freshman year was me. It was I communicated a lot with my teachers, but I kind of had to learn to do that, where I was like, may have to drop this class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did ask her about, and I feel like something else was having to pick a major your freshman year, where you're like, how do I do that? I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. And Annabelle, who I interviewed, was a common, she just shows that the fact is she chose a career. She didn't want to do it. She literally changed colleges. She did everything you could do, to mix everything around and not just do 4 straight years at the same college. And she was completely fine, happier than ever. So I feel really just taking those risks and just being talking to your advisor and being I don't think I like this anymore. Just don't hold it back and don't try to force yourself on it. 'Cause if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah. I originally came in freshman year as an environmentalist or an environmental science major with a minor in pre-law. I did 1 year of classes and I was like, oh, this is not for me. I don't want to do any of this. I don't understand any of this.
Yeah.
And then I changed my major to geography and then meteorology.
Okay.
So pretty much last year, junior year, was when I was like, okay, you need to just pick something and stick with it. Yeah. And that's when I just did general studies with marketing and media, because I was it's broad enough and I can do a lot with it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I changed my major at least 4 times.
Yeah, and look at you.
Yeah.
We're about to graduate.
Yep.
I feel like that is such a like stereotype.
Halfway through
where it's
the
like,
semester.
if you don't know your major, you're gonna mess yourself up for the rest of the 4 years.
Yeah.
You know? Like there's so many options. You can do summer school, catch up on your credits. You
Yeah.
could literally take more than 15 credits if you really want to be
Well,
feel horrible for the
if you
one
don't-
semester. But
If you don't like what you're doing in college, you're not going to want to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So figure out what you like while you're here and while there's like so many opportunities to figure out what you like.
Definitely. No, yeah. And then one more topic I do want to kind of talk about is after graduating college and like the expectations that comes with that. When really at the end of the day, you graduated college, you're at your own speed, you are in the real world, right? Scary things. But like my sister, when I interviewed her, Annabelle, she was talking about how there's no time limit really, at all. And she moved back home. She really tried to figure it out. She worked at a restaurant, blah, blah, blah. Now she's teaching like and doing all of that. But really at the end of the day, just take a deep breath. You're going to be fine. Take it day by day. And like college is not end all be all. So
And
that's kind of what
and it's totally fine to not like to have it. Get a job that's not your major.
Mm-hmm,
It's very common.
yeah.
Like,
oh my god! I feel like it's less common to have a job that is your major right when you get out of college. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
mhm.
But yeah, so that's basically some points I wanted to talk about. So we have one final fourth segment.
Yep. So I'm going to be talking about some financial management and budgeting tips. So obviously everyone has, different financials when they come into college. So it's hard to give tips for everyone because your financial, what's the word?
Like your financial
Status.
status is
Five. Financial status, can't really give you everything, but some vague things. So obviously whenever you come to school, you have a meal plan and your dorm is paid for through loans or FAFSA or your parents or whatever. But whenever you get out of there going into sophomore, junior, maybe even into senior year, obviously you're going to have a very different financial status then. So you're going to have to be paying for things like rent and electricity and Wi-Fi and food, things like that. You're basically becoming a real adult at that point, and that's pretty scary.
Mhm.
So a helpful thing that I used was Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an app where you can connect your bank accounts, your credit cards, whatever, and really plan out exactly where you're spending your money and what you need to save to pay off your loans after school or whatnot. So Rocket Money is a helpful tool. Another thing that you could do is get an on-campus job if you're struggling financially. Sometimes they don't really pay all that well, so you could try looking off campus.
I mean, I know. I had an on-campus job.
How was that?
I was in the dining halls.
Oh,
It was like,
What'd you do?
I did boar's head.
Oh,
I was making sandwiches.
That's a pretty good job though. Like I'll be honest. I mean,
did you like it?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was only 4 hours.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like,
that's
that's a good
nice.
thing with
you just clock
on-campus
in,
jobs.
clock out.
Yeah.
And then just like,
You're done
yeah.
for the day. Yeah.
On-campus jobs have like really short hours, and you can really
Yeah.
pinch them into your schedule wherever
Yeah.
you go. So that's nice.
Yes.
I know there's some that you can like work at the library as a receptionist,
Mhm.
dining halls, of course. What's another one?
I mean, you could work at like the hotel.
Yeah.
hotel,
Like-
I was going to
museum.
say my friend is like
Student
an
center.
assistant for like deans at like the teachers college and stuff
Mhm.
like
That
that.
can be big.
And she just sits there, does her homework, answers her phone calls.
I was gonna say that
Keeps
could
the
be
office
some-
light on.
that could be some good experience you could put on your resume as well. But if you
She-
sit there, do your homework, then
She has been doing some more stuff recently, like making graphics for him and stuff for like
Yeah.
the teachers college. But yeah, it's a good time to get your homework done too and
for
earn a little money.
Yeah, get some money and get your homework done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no, but I did.
You didn't have an on-campus job?
I didn't. I did. I saved up a lot of money first, and then I just solely relied on dining hall, and then I had my dorm. But dining hall food, yeah, you can either gain the freshman 15 or lose it, and I lost it because I just hated it. I didn't have money to get DoorDash anything, and so I just tried to eat the dining hall food.
In Botsford, Swinford my freshman year, and it was like right across from North, like the big dining hall. So we literally never went anywhere else.
Yeah. No, I was in Northwest, right across from that too, which the wind tunnel was horrible. But yeah, no, I definitely understand that. Did you have an on-campus job too?
I didn't. I worked off campus actually, so I was actually making some pretty good money.
Yeah. So did you have a car freshman year?
No, I actually worked in the village at Yats.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, so I could just walk to work and then head back to my dorm whenever.
Yeah, the village is so close.
On-campus jobs are more convenient because obviously it fits around your schedule.
Right.
I was working late nights, until 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, so definitely takes a toll on you. And obviously you can't hang out with your friends on the weekends if you're working a job, but it's better than being really broke.
Yeah, I got to do what you got to do. Absolutely.
Obviously, scholarships and grants are very important as well. You can never have too much money. So if you apply to all those scholarships and get all those grants, then hopefully your college will just be smooth as butter.
I mean, even if you think too, you're not going to get the scholarship, or you don't have the grades for a general scholarship. There's so many different types of scholarships. And one cool thing about Ball State is we literally have a scholarship for students that have all C's. It's literally the David Letterman scholarship, which I hope you know. Plug David Letterman. We love our alumni. But I mean, there's so many options, many, endless.
And you can just apply for all of them.
Right.
Apply for as many as you can and
see what happens.
Whatever can help.
You're not losing anything. Maybe some time writing an essay or
but
you can really repurpose an old essay. That's what I've done before. It's not cheating. It's your writing at the end of the day.
Just make it helps. It helps. Because I worked in the village too. I worked at Roots, and that was literally horrible. Sorry, Roots. Great management and everything, but just after getting done with school all day and then going and working from 4 to 11:30 or midnight, every night, it was awful. So
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And financial aid. I mean, I get money. I live in a house right now and I get money to pay rent from the school. So I just saved up all my money all summer for groceries and stuff like that. And then I was I got rent covered. So what else do I need to do?
And that's a big thing, is really saving in the summer. That can help you so much.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Work in the summer and then come to school and relax.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about money and you just focus on academics and get it done.
Absolutely.
Budgeting the money that you save. Because I would work in the summers too. And then I would just come back and be I have all this money. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to spend all of it.
Store, I can go.
Shopping spree every single weekend.
You can do anything. Yeah.
I'd spend $300 at the grocery.
Then the end of the semester comes around and you're how am I going to survive the rest of the semester with $300?
So do we want to kind of go over and just
let's recap what
key points from each one?
Recap. Let's do this thing.
I'll start off with the key takeaways from balancing social life and academics. I would say my key takeaways were use a planner if it's on your phone, if it's on your computer, if it's an actual planner that you write in every day. Just make sure that you have everything written down in some spot that you'll see it. Join clubs and organizations on campus or in your major or minors, just something to get you involved with what you're already doing, and prioritize what's important to you. It's fun to be in college and have all this independence, but we are all here to get a degree, so that should be a priority, but don't make it everything about your college experience.
Yeah, definitely. And then for my topic about what people think college is going to be versus the reality of it, just be able to know that not everything is exactly what you've been told, and the reality is going to be a lot different, and that's totally fine, and be able to have both what you think it is and reality and kind of blend it so it's not a culture shock and then it leads to homesickness or you just stuck in your dorm the whole time. Yeah.
My key takeaways to adjusting to college life and overcoming learning curves. What I would say, just try not to go home as much every weekend. Just fully acclimate to this lifestyle and see what happens. I would say getting involved in campus, just as Alex was saying, and then just utilizing your student resources, because at the end of the day, they're here to help you, whether it's your professors, your friends, your teachers, your seniors, literally any mentors would be good to have. And just not being so hard on yourself too, because we're all going through the same thing together. And I feel like once you kind of figure that out freshman year, where you're like, everybody's in the same boat as I am, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. So yeah.
And then for financials, obviously, budget. That's very important to create a budget and keep track of that budget. And then obviously work. That's an easy way to make some money, but save your money during the summer. You don't want to have to work while you're at school. And then that's scholarships and grants. Those are important.
Yeah, definitely take advantage. So basically that is the college survival handbook and how to continue the success from us. Definitely go check out our socials.
Definitely.
We're basically on every platform. So
Pathway Podcast.
Pathway Podcast. This was our first one, and thank you for experiencing it with us.
Hope you guys learned something.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Chirp, chirp.